What's up everybody, Arrg the Pirate here, and today we're going to be discussing Sevarog. First, let's go over Sevarog's deck. You want to pick up Centurion, a health potion, and a strike token. Now let's get into the real cards. First, start out with a 6-point Striker's Siphon with 3 points in lifesteal. This will give him a lot more sustain in that early game. And then go into a 6-point Sage's Ward, all with power. A 6-point Adamant Edge with all power. And then we'll start building our in-game cards. Pick up a Windcarver's Blade with 5 points in power and 2 points in kinetic. Next, grab a Tempered Plate and Toon Barrier, both built with 3 points in health and 4 points in armor or guard or barrier. And then 2 Elder Mage Amulets, both built the same with 4 points in power, 3 points in health. Lastly, I have a 10-point Adamant Edge just to get to that 60-point mark. Now you have to forgive me, my voice is kind of getting raspy. I've got a little bit of a bug. The daughter came home from daycare with something, and of course, you know, the next day I get it. But you always want to start out with this Siphon. This really allows you to stay in the jungle and not have to constantly go back. Now, Sevarog's kit is much more difficult than a lot of the other junglers. He relies on getting stacks. Now, the way you stack up souls is by killing any enemy with some sort of ability. But you don't actually start gaining souls until you unlock Siphon. So Square should be the first ability you pick up with Sevarog. Now, for every soul you get, you receive 1 damage to your Siphon ability, as well as 3 points in health. Now, this is very important because without getting a proper amount of souls, Sevarog is really limiting himself. So not only do you have to worry about card power with Sevarog, you also have to worry about your Siphon or your soul count. Now this is displayed just beside the ability on the square button on that lower left side of the screen. One thing to also note is Sevarog, you really need to kite enemies the best that you can. Now, I am definitely not the best Sevarog player. I actually just really started playing Sevarog just for this video. I've never really played him just because he does require more of team communication for most of what he does. He's not like Steel where you can stun everybody and things like that. He is a very great engager by using his rush and colossal blow to knock enemies out and things like that. But he definitely needs a little better team communication. Now, I played about 7 games before I got this game, and it did not start out well, but we ended up coming back and having a lot better team grouping and things like that. We were really chasing kills and not defending lanes, but luckily we got on it and, ended up getting the win. Now, if you see here, the green buff was about to kill me, so I went ahead and just took out the 2 minions, decided to back, picked up another point in my lifesteal, and then I'm going to head back, grab that green buff, and try to go get a game. Now, another key point to stacking souls with Sevarog is getting to key points. These key points are at 20 souls, 50 souls, 90 souls, and 140 souls. And you get a bonus of 20 health, 30, 40, and 50 health when you hit those 4 milestones, as well as 10, 15, 20, and 25 ability damage for your Siphon. Now you can tell how many souls you're at or that kind of milestone by briefly glancing at your shoulder pads. Every milestone Sevarog hits with his shoulder pads, they grow, and eventually they'll almost make him double the size. They get really big after a certain point. Now, if you see here, I'm using my subjugate to root this yin, and I go and try to dive this tower, but I was just slowed too much, and I'm about to die from the tower. I wanted to stay in and kind of keep that damage off of Kwong, and I back up and these minions one-shot me. It was the most embarrassing thing ever. But I did land those 2 subjugates, and it really allowed, you know, us to close that distance. Unfortunately, we both end up going down. I really wish Kwong would have not stayed in there. You know, I was really trying to tank that tower damage from him, but, you know, that was just a bad play. We pushed them back. She was probably going to have to back, and we should have just let it alone there. Now, Phantom Rush is Sevarog's gap closer. He can use it to catch up to an enemy, but it's best used to get on the other side of an enemy and then use Colossal Blow or his ultimate to knock them back into the fight. So if someone is, you know, trying to escape or running away, you can Phantom Rush to the other side of them, knock them back into your team, and right when they hit the ground, use Subjugate to root them in place so your team can just really go crazy and get that kill. Another thing you can use Colossal Blow for is to knock enemies away. Colossal Blow is on a very short cooldown, so it can be used to, you know, clear 5-stack camps to really get your souls up, as well as using it to push enemies away or bringing them, you know, back into the group. Use Colossal Blow as much as you want. Since it's on such a short cooldown, look at the map and go, hey, I've got 30 seconds before anything's going to happen. If Colossal Blow's up and ready, go ahead and use it. Don't save it. It doesn't cost just a crazy amount of mana, and, you know, you can really just use that to get your souls up. Getting your souls up with Sevarog is really the key point. Now, I head over here to safe lane, and they end up collapsing on me, and they got a pretty good gank. I was really hoping to get this Wraith, but it didn't turn out that way. I did not see Chimera right behind me, and, you know, we've really been struggling on this safe lane. Their team's rotating very well, and we have a melee ADC and a melee support, so that makes it a lot harder to get that lane push, especially against someone like Greystone. Now, I've skipped ahead quite a bit here. We have not had just very good teamwork so far, but that's all about to change. Now, I head over to our off lane. Yin is pushed up pretty far by herself. I did not realize FaZe was invisible, but we went ahead and, you know, collapsed on this, trying to get a kill. Now, FaZe used her ultimate to retreat, which is not the best case. You know, I don't know if they were not on comms or what, but that's never a good idea. Now, if you notice here, I wait to use my subjugate. I could have used it earlier, but it probably would have missed, and it's on a fairly long cooldown. So you want to make sure when you use subjugate that you are hitting your target. And you also need to lead your target with subjugate. It is not an instant cast. I would say it might even be a little slower than something like Gideon's Rock, but you definitely want to lead your target and make sure you get that hit. It can also act funny when it goes around corners and things like that, so you just really want to avoid that. Now, here at 22 minutes, their team is being very aggressive in mid lane. I go ahead and grab the green buff to go into this fight. They end up taking Narvash down, and I'm able to, you know, knock them into the tower, get them a little more damage, and we're just kind of collapsing on something. They've been extremely aggressive, and they're working very well as a team. Now, I go ahead and say, ping retreat. I'm completely out of mana. There's no reason to chase any of these kills. Unfortunately, you know, our Wraith stayed in, and, you know, everybody's just kind of really chasing these kills. when it probably would have been best to retreat, but no big deal. Wraith does end up taking out Greystone's ultimate, but he ends up dying for it. So, you know, that just really was not a good engagement to be on. But, hey, we're going to come back. We're keeping it positive, and this match is just beginning. Now, here is one of the best examples I've seen or been around with a Wraith and Sevarog combo. Now, he pinged, he has his ultimate ready. We stack up behind this firewall. I head over here, knock this Wraith back. I'm able to get this subjugate off, and we just absolutely erase him. Now, the key thing to note with Sevarog's ult is it hits the direction that Sevarog is facing. So you want to be behind the target if you want to hit him towards your tower or whatnot. Now, if you see, I use that subjugate right there, but the enemies moved forward and I only got one hit even though I was trying to get Greystone. And, you know, really just get them off of Wraith. But we end up going into this team fight. Everybody kind of collapses. I went to use my Colossal Blow to knock Greystone away, but I got rooted by FaZe and just swing and a miss right there. But I'm still, you know, fairly healthy. I don't have a huge mana pool, but I'm going to stay in, do my jungle thing, get my souls back, and really just keep farming away. Now here at 27, 28 minutes, our team is collapsing on Raptors. Although we've really just been leaving lanes and chasing kills, I'm trying to get lanes, you know, better suited, but we're not doing the greatest job. Now Wraith uses his ultimate, but he gets out of it for whatever reason. I want to retreat right here, but Narbash comes in, uses his ult. I actually Colossal Blowed almost their whole team into Narbash, and it worked out very well, but unintentional. Right here, Kwong gets a root, and I get my subjugate off, so we just delete this phase. We then head mid lane where Yin and Greystone were just out of position after that team fight, and we end up getting the pick on Yin. I'm able to knock back Greystone, but for whatever reason, he actually didn't go all the way back. I'm not terribly sure what exactly happened there, but we end up getting the kill on him as well, and just push this tier 2 tower down. So after we get that tier 2 tower, we're heading back, and Narbash ends up dying, and I ping good job for, hey, we just basically got a team kill and a tier 2 tower. So Narbash, if you're watching, I did not mean that as being salty, and I'm sorry. Well, Wraith ends up rewinding me, and our Wraith is right here, and we just really destroy him. Wraith was just putting out crazy damage, and he was focusing the tank for whatever reason. And after that kill, Chimera ends up coming and diving us, and we almost kill him as well. Yin then shows up, and ultimates, you know, we just got to get out. We're all getting pretty low, but, you know, that's a real good example of just being bloodthirsty for really no reason. There was no reason for them to come and invade like that. They should have just stayed back, licked their wounds, and reset lanes. You know, they're going to have to deal with super minions, and coming for a jungle invade with half your team down is just not that smart. Wraith actually ended up circling around and getting that kill on Chimera. You know, when a jungle invade for 2 deaths is just completely not worth it, especially when you did just have a team wipe like that. Now a few minutes later, I head back, and Yin is over here in our jungle, or in the river. Unfortunately, FaZe pulled her out, and yet again she used her ultimate to retreat instead of attacking, which is just bad. Now I used my Colossal Blow to hit her against that wall, just to slow her down. I didn't want to hit her forward, but I didn't want to hit her backwards either. Now, I'm able to stay right where I am because Narbash is here. He's getting the heals. He's getting these stuns. We end up picking up a 3-man kill for really almost no effort at all. Now, I stayed in just a little bit too long, and Wraith is chasing me. I know I'm probably screwed, but I don't have, enough to get out, and he did end up getting that pick on me. So I'm gonna go ahead and, kind of say, hey, good play on his part, but he died for getting me down, and we end up having 4 of them for a tank, or, a tank jungler. So it was a good, win on our part. Now here at 33 minutes, Narbash has been poking at the Orb Prime for whatever reason. He actually tried to kill it solo once, but our whole team's here. We're kind of standing off. Wraith ends up using his invis, and we're able to kind of go around and get a pick. Now I head over to this Wraith, and sure enough, Yen's right here. I miss my route. I Colossal Blow her away so she doesn't run back towards her core, and I'm just going to dive this tower to get this kill. FaZe unfortunately pulled her out, but I've only taken about half damage, and I'm able to get that final root on her, and Wraith pokes in and gets that kill. Now I've skipped ahead to our final push. We end up going for Prime and eventually end up securing this win. We had all of our lanes pushed up pretty well, and with that ADC missing, hey, it's time to get Prime and end up getting this victory. Well, they actually started kind of coming towards us, or at least Wraith did, and our Wraith ended up getting the rewind. I Colossal Blow him back and, just absolutely melted. That's one thing about Prime that I see a lot of people, making the mistake of, hey, let's go try to steal it. Oftentimes, especially in this situation, when you've got your support and your ADC down, it's better to just let them get Prime, go push your lanes and defend. Now, my whole team pushes mid, which, we might have been able to get the win right here, but they just had 2 of their heroes spawn in. I'd rather take out an inhib than, get a team wipe with Prime at their core. That just seems kind of silly to me, and our support and Wraith end up going down almost immediately. We do get FaZe and Yen again, but, it really was not worth it in my opinion. Well, with this great, team fight and Prime on our side, I'm going to chase this Greystone to just keep him out of, getting back to the lane and pushing it back. Kwang's going to end up getting the core, and this is really in-game for them. Well, as this video wraps up, I'd just like to say Sevarog is one of the most difficult heroes to pick up and play well. It takes a while to really understand his kit and, just really be successful with him. I personally am definitely not the best Sevarog player, but I'm looking forward to getting better with him. I do like playing as that, frontline guy that's just taking a ton of damage. Well, if you enjoyed this video, show me some love. Think about subscribing, and let me know if you want to see anything. I actually made this video for one of my subscribers, and I really hope this helps. Well, as always, I'll see y'all in the next video.